Welcome to the Everyday Black Man Podcast, a podcast for authentic black male thoughts. I am Riker, and I'm joined by R. Reed,
Lotto,
a.k.a. Burning Cinnamon, as well as Armstead.
Super
Follow
Smash
us
Brothers
on Twitter at EVYD Black Men, Instagram at Everyday Black Men, and Facebook on the Everyday Black Men Facebook page. We're joined today by a special guest. His name is Mogul. Mogul, say something to the people.
What's going on, people?
He said, "What's going on?" Not just joking. But we're going to go into it. We got a couple things in the top.
All right, first thing you talk about Super Smash Brothers champ, me.
No, me. Armstead.
It's only because I wasn't there.
It was actually me. I was the champion, but you know how it goes. Oh, I'm sorry, Mogul. Go ahead.
No, I just went there, and so y'all are champs until I get on the sticks.
Oh! You
sound like somebody else over here that said the same thing until I got there.
I know we didn't have this on the docket, but that game has changed so much.
It has
from GameCube.
It
missed
used
the whole
to be
Wii generation.
It used to be the whole, like you actually have to do things with it, but now it's like, dog.
You want to know what else bothered me? We only had two controllers, and I've never fought with just two people.
Yeah.
I thought the map was still I remember it being.
It's too big. It's too big with two people.
Okay, I thought I was the only one. I wasn't used to that camera angle.
I mean, the only stage was, remember the fire stage?
Yeah,
the one with where you keep going up and down, and you hit the ground. There's lava and stuff. That stage is the only stage that felt right for two people, but everything else was just too fucking big.
All the stages were generally the same. It's just the flat land and those three little blocks that you step on top of. That's it. All of them were all the same.
Except for the moving stages.
Except for the moving stages. But
and
the moving stages are generally who got fucked up by not knowing where they needed to be in the first time. R. Reed? Oh, fuck.
I was like, what the hell is
And the Fox stage was the only one that was good, too.
I always fight on Cortana. That's Cortana, right?
Yeah, fuck it. It's Cortana.
There's
now.
Cortana, there's Link
So what's
stage.
so different? What's so different than GameCube?
There's a lot of shit going on.
The way, the way the controllers and stuff move now.
No, that controller thing is not an issue.
No.
The controller takes a while to get used to.
No, it's not that. It's the fluidness of it. You know how...
You can't... what I was trying to say last night, he hated both of the controllers.
Yeah, I hate both of the controllers.
He hated
get
both.
Used to it because you're not used to playing on that controller. It's just I remember when I had the Wii U and I was just I hate this damn thing. Mm-hmm. But after a while, the Wii U is probably the best controller I ever had.
Probably.
Think so?
Probably.
Right.
Well, you just got to get. You know what? You can buy one $30. You can find out.
Compared to what? Just
any controller, the screen.
What about
being
Xbox
right there.
360
I see what they did with the Switch, where it's smaller, but the screen is it's smaller. But I can see how you'll get used to it eventually.
You will hold that up against the 360 controller.
I mean, the 360 controller is fucking
the
legend.
Best. Arguably the best.
I mean, that's basically an Xbox S controller, ain't it, from the original Xbox?
Well, yeah, it is basically Xbox S controller. But the reason that the 360 controller was just so great is that it was just designed for your hands. Oh, yeah. Regardless if you a chick, you a dude, you tall, you short, that controller still fits your hands.
What's the worst controller ever made? N64.
N64 controller. That goddamn Z button trigger was in the right place, but every other button was in the wrong fucking place.
I remember playing.
You didn't know which way he was going to play the game.
You had to hold the game like this. You had to hold it like this. Sometimes
it only felt right for
what
was that? Star Fox.
Star Fox and
that Star Fox 64 was hard as fuck. You was only
using two buttons and then the circle.
Yeah, that's the only game it felt right. Yeah. Right at home.
I'm trying to remember, boy.
Man, it felt right, but that shit was hard. Star Fox 64 is no joke.
No, we used to play it.
I beat that game.
We used to destroy that. We used to have. We used to go over his house and play it all the time.
Yeah, he did.
The nigga that did the wrong thing and got a Nintendo 64. You had got a PlayStation.
Everybody had.
I had a 64 too. Did you get the RAM update?
Yeah, when I bought a game though, it came with a game.
It came with Donkey Kong.
I got this.
Was it Donkey Kong?
64 late.
Oh, you got the 64 late?
Nah, I used to just go over his house and play it.
Okay, all right. Hey, it's good.
We played it together.
All right, let's go ahead and get into the first top hat. And the first top hat is George W. Horrible Weak Ass Bush has died.
Bravo, round of applause.
Thank you. Yes. God, thank you for coming down and snatching that nigga away. He was a kingpin. That nigga was a war criminal. That nigga pardoned all his friends. I mean, if he had been a villain in a Marvel movie, we would have been like, damn, I can understand his thing. Except for that he wanted to lock up black people and said, fuck everybody, and said, fuck the AIDS crisis. And hope everybody dies who's colored. And it's like, first of all, I'm really offended by the fact that you called me colored. Secondly, AIDS is mostly y'all at this point in time, sir. This is mostly a gay disease.
Ooh, don't ever say that. You're going to get us canceled.
First and foremost, that's what they called it. They called it a gay disease. I'm not saying I agree. I'm just giving you what George Horrible Weak Ass Bush's people said.
But we're not saying we disagree.
Whoa! This nigga trying to get canceled. Please,
Hey, I'm sorry, LGBT. Hold on, LGBT. What's that? Q, Y, whatever.
I mean, at the first time, you know what? I could go into it, but you know, this is not the time nor the place. Because it's a very easy acronym to get. It's a very easy acronym.
No, you got pluses in there, minuses.
It's just too much going on, y'all.
Asterisks.
I mean,
And
no.
every week
If you
y'all add a
do
new
the full one, that's it. But I cut the line at LGBTQIA. Like, I cut it at A. I don't care what comes after A.
Goodness.
But this is another. We'll have this on another day. I feel like they put them all together, even though they're not all together.
Well, I mean, we all know G's at the top. Like, G's
and then
up.
they'll add P's, right?
Well, G's at the top, then T, and then they kind of let L just sit in there, and then everybody else, they pretty much tell them to fuck off. But G's sitting there at the top, like, we voted for Trump. I mean,
They represent white men.
exactly. This is white men first, and then the transgendered people are next because they're a protected
20
group.
of them.
And then the L's are kind of here. And then everybody else is like, fuck you. And it's like, geez, man, the Q's are not really that hard to get. They're just people.
When they're going to add the P's.
I mean, they're not going to ever add P's.
Sure?
He's
What is the P?
Pedophile.
P stands for pedophile. So that's the thing that people always try to act like we're adding in there. And it's like, nobody is adding pedophiles in here. And we certainly aren't adding M's in either.
You said
Well, at least not in this culture.
So
You said we
gonna
always
push.
live on the extremes, so the extremes would be the pedophile.
The pedophiles are going to always be in secret.
Well, the thing about it is, you're right. Pedophiles are always going to be a secret because we all know Socrates
Okay,
fucked
I
plenty
go
of
with
little boys, and that's a whole thing, a whole issue we can't get into.
So it's G.
George
No, he was giving his,
H.W. Bush also. But we
importance.
ain't going to go there.
Oh no, I was giving a list of importance.
Oh, I thought you was talking
G's
about
up,
He said gays up.
G's at the top, then T, then L's,
Gays
then they
are
pretty much tell
top
everybody
and
to fuck
bottom.
themselves. I's
So,
and A's,
what
I
was-
feel like, are the worst because I's are kind of people who've been here forever.
What is the I?
Intersex? So people who were born with both genitals.
Hermaphrodite.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
That's
So
the
is it
whole term
hermaphrodite
for
or is
that.
Man,
it
bear, pig.
The new term is intersex, intersexuals.
They changed the name.
They're trying to.
They're rebranding it so that they have a name
They're
that
trying to
more
take the
fits.
spin off of it. It's
Well,
just a quote.
at the same time, I understand if you're born with both genitals being like that, you want to keep both. I certainly wouldn't cut off a ball, even if you're like, this will save your life. I'll die with cancer the way God intended.
That ball's going off.
I got another one.
I don't know. I'm not one to really speak on hypotheticals, but I don't know.
At the same time, as a man, you can't do that. With women,
I
if
don't
you lose
know.
an
I don't
ovary,
think
you're
I'm
pretty
ready
much
for
done.
tits.
If you lose a nut, you still got only a 15% decrease in your ability to fertilize women. That's not really bad. But then again, it's always been better for men. I mean, yeah, you do lose. I mean, no, you just start taking hormone shots, and at that point in time,
masculinity.
no, you take hormone shots and you deal with it. You take hormone shots and you deal with it.
Well, I got the natural hormone.
I mean, yeah, we have blackness. I mean, that helps. But we'll go ahead
God
and
damn, we just forgot.
table this.
That's how important George Bush was.
I mean, he wasn't important at all. So I was kind of glad that we had a whole conversation on the paradigm.
Mafia.
Yeah, the paradigm was better than George W. Bush was.
I mean,
And that's kind of sad for a guy who was a president of the United States. But he also grew up women. So I mean,
Hey,
there's
bro,
that.
Women,
that don't even
children.
mean anything.
Yeah,
anymore.
women, children. George Bush grew
He
up
was a
everything once he got
pansexual.
after 80.
He was
He
a
was like, look,
pansexual.
if it exists in front of me, I'm going to grab it. And it's like, you're a terrible person. At the same time, the First Amendment's under attack. They want to stop us from being able to be critical of Israel. They want to criminalize speech with up to 20 years in prison and a $1 million fine. Thoughts?
Jews run this country. And they just
Well,
showing you.
Definitely
The
money
money system,
tends to run this
yeah,
country.
exactly.
And there
Got the
tend
money.
to be people who have a
Who
lot
got
of
the
money,
money?
who happen to have a certain hue. But at the same time, this is America.
White
Can you
Jews.
dive a little deep into that?
Okay.
You said
So basically, a bill came forward due to our boy, well, not due to our boy Lamont Hill being fired from CNN, but around the same time. He was talking about how they had a whole Palestinian Independence Day thing, and they were talking about, like, we need to hold Israel accountable. And so he was fired. And then, literally 2 days after that, this bill comes forward that's saying, hey, we need to criminalize speech against Israel because people are saying mean things. It's like, people are saying words. We're not saying we need to kill all the Jews or anything ridiculous. We're not Hitlers. What we're saying is that we need to be critical of a country that has an
Speak for
entire
yourself.
population that they're just being like, fuck them, even though they were here first. Like, We literally took land from these people. We gave it to these other people in 1945 to 54, I think. Don't quote me on the time frame. But at the same time, it's like, really? This is how we gonna do things? This is how we gonna go? Hey, neither here nor there.
That's all right.
But this is bullshit. This is America. Y'all call Africa a shithole. Y'all talk about how America ain't shit and how liberals have ruined it and those fucking, whatever conservatives are mad about today. But y'all saying the inhuman treatment of Palestinians, can we not talk about that? Nah, we're going to talk about that. Fuck you and your feelings. And last but not least, Cyntoia Brown has literally been in prison since she's 16 years old. She ended up killing a white man who had just purchased her. He takes her back to his place. She sees that this nigga has a gun around. Instant red flag warning for any prostitutes. And then he starts reaching under the bed. Also not a great sign. Because no nigga keeps condoms underneath the bed. So she grabbed his gun and shot him. Which I can think that's completely justifiable. At the same time, she's been in jail since she's 16 years old in Tennessee. And the Tennessee Supreme Court just told her that she needs to stay in prison for at least 25 years, but more than likely 50, based on the current split. So you had two people who said that they need to release her. You had two people on there who are fuckboys who said they need to keep her. And you had two people who were like, we don't know. And it's like, why the fuck are you on the Supreme Court if you don't know?
State Supreme Court.
I mean, yeah, Tennessee Supreme Court, State Supreme Court. But if you're going to be on the Supreme Court, I expect you to make a fucking decision.
Yeah,
Like, I mean, that's literally all your job is deciding on cases. Like, that's it.
Do your job. Like, I don't think I'm asking you.
You had one job.
You had one job.
Make a decision.
Exactly.
You like a bitch when it come to dinner.
Ooh. I want
What do you want to eat? You buy you something to eat. She's
no. As someone
Wrong
showed
with you.
us, it's not that women don't know what they want to eat. They want to eat 16 things from 16 different places, and that's not fucking possible. Get
They
over
just
it.
want to eat from one place, your damn place.
Or some of them tell you, exactly. Someone tell you, shoot.
Oh, shit, yeah. Whenever you get something.
I just had some of yours, and then when you go buy them their plate, just so that you can have your plate to yourself, they still eating off your plate.
Were those Supreme Court judges women?
No, it was mostly men because it's Tennessee.
You don't know.
Hold
What'd
on.
you think?
So, what's the ethnicity of this
But
girl?
he could be right by guessing.
What's the ethnicity of this girl?
Black,
Oh, she's of course black.
Okay.
You hear that name?
I mean, naturally, I just didn't want to be.
Cyntoia,
I didn't want to be.
Cyntoia. So Cyntoia is spelled all kinds of different.
Because I don't want to be the race debater, but if it were some caucus mountain heifer,
No. So somebody actually researched that and found a woman who was in a very similar thing. Now she was an adult. Cyntoia was only 16, and we're not supposed to try kids like they are adults, except for that they did in this circumstance. But they found a white woman, same thing, prostitute, killed a guy who she thought was going to kill her, got no fucking time in Tennessee.
that's a big
So
surprise.
again, it's like y'all have something on the books that shows you that she doesn't need to be in there, and on top of that, you're violating the juvenile laws that you have on there because kids cannot be tried as adults, but you're still trying her as an adult. I don't know. Fuck you,
Yeah,
Tennessee.
just change it. White kids can't be charged as adults.
I mean, that's pretty much true. I'm trying to find this Tennessee Supreme Court justices just as I can tell you what the rate. Oh shit! Whew, fuck. So it's three white women and three white men.
Those three women were the undecided. I'm gonna go 2-1.
I mean, I want to know. I want to know now, but we don't have time to. I don't have time to delve in too much deeper.
Week
but
on
next week,
Everyday
I'm going to find out who was. I guarantee you, it's this fat white fuck in the middle. He looked like he can't decide shit. Look at that nigga. Look at him. He looked like he can't decide what he want to do: Burger King or McDonald's. He looked like. He looked like fucking. That's all, folks. Porky Pig. That nigga right there. And then this nigga looked like he raped babies. Yeah, far right looked like he raped babies. Not children.
I don't think rape babies has a face anymore, so.
I mean, no,
Yeah.
it's just the way that he looks. He's looking at the camera like, haha, I'm going to do some fucked up shit today. I mean, the woman next to him just looks like she's just a standard racist white chick. And then they got one woman on the far left who looks like she's the one slightly progressive conservative. And by progressive, she means that black people should be not shot in the back, shoot them in the front.
You know, I've not seen one black Supreme Court.
Yeah, and of course, no black Supreme Court